Welcome to the Savage Basement. Today we are talking about
Graveyard Shift.
a classic. Best Stephen King movie?
Technically, here's the thing. It's too butchered from the regular story to be a Stephen King movie, in my opinion, if you've ever read the
It's the
regular
exact
story.
same as the story. He's lying to you.
I don't think it's the same as the story.
Exactly the same.
And the story is a very short story from the Night Shift book.
Yeah,
But
it's like 10 pages long.
yeah, it's an amazing fucking movie. It's an underrated movie.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Early 90s is one of my favorite periods in horror. It's got a lot of spillover from the 80s. But then in the mid-90s, starts to really fucking suck. But Graveyard Shift to me is a top 5 movie from the early 90s.
Quality, too. It's done well.
Yeah, it's a
Done very well.
major studio film.
Yes.
So,
It's a classic flick.
oh, it's awesome. I mean, the one thing about this movie is the movie is like a super realistic movie as far as the people go. Because the people that they have working in this shitty factory, they really look like people who would work in a shitty factory like this.
They might be people that worked at that shitty factory because it was a real factory.
Yeah. They really didn't like try to cast anybody that's like out of type. Whoever did the casting did like a fucking awesome job in the movie.
But Graveyard Shift, if you don't know what it's about, a drifter guy starts working at a bizarre, what is it?
It's like a cotton mill
or something in
somewhere
the fake
in Maine,
Castle
of
Rock
course,
area type Maine town. And on, what is it, Labor Day weekend or 4th of July weekend? I can't remember which weekend. One of those weekends.
A holiday weekend.
They have to go and clean the sub-basement out of the cotton mill for double pay. And they discover an unnerving secret in the basement.
Well, nobody really thought there was any type of secret actually in the movie at all.
No.
But they just stumble upon this thing that there's this fucking crazy rat, bat, mutant monster that like lives below there and has evidently been living there for a really, really long time. But the movie itself is like a very dark and grimy movie. It also has Chucky.
Yeah, Brad Dourif is in it.
Brad Dourif's in it.
Great monologue about being in Vietnam.
Yeah. He's like the rat catcher dude.
He is wasted, though. His death scene is weak, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's pretty weak. They
should have kept him alive to fight the rat monster with the other guy.
One thing about this movie that I'll never forget this movie is I remember when it came out on video, when I rented it and watched it. I was in the 4th grade. It was a new release on video.
Not appropriate for kids.
I was in the 4th grade. I rented it and I had the chicken pox. On the last 2 weeks of school, I got chicken pox. So I got like an extra long summer. And I kicked it off by watching this movie multiple times because I thought it was so fucking awesome. I watched it like 3 days in a row.
I've seen it. You've seen it as many times as me. 40 times.
Oh, my God. I've watched this movie.
Yeah.
I've over the years, I probably have watched this movie 100 times.
Yeah. I put it on all the time to this day. It's like a movie like Silver Bullet or those kind of movies. I put it on. Even if I'm not watching it, I just enjoy whatever part's on.
Oh, yeah. It's good, man. Like the end part, like where they stumble upon like the monster's lair and they see like
it's very cool.
All like the mountains of skulls and shit like that. That it's been, there's a lot of the scenes in that movie. I love The Descent. The Descent is like a favorite movie, but there's a lot of scenes in that movie, especially when they like find the monster's lair and shit, that are real similar to what they did in The Descent. I've always thought that. But again, no knock on The Descent. It's a fucking awesome movie.
The chicks in Graveyard Shift are way hotter than the chicks in Descent.
You think? I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Definitely. No way. That's not even close. But, so Graveyard Shift, like we said, they're in the basement, cleaning the basement. They find there's another basement. That's where this rat monster has lived. And that's where they have to run into it and combat it. Do you think you would survive if the rat monster attacked you?
I think that I could survive the rat monster.
Could you really?
Yeah, I think I could survive.
This guy has not survived one trip that I've went with him to Ponderosa ever. Middle of the buffet trip, he's in the bathroom. So could you really survive a rat monster? I don't know.
I mean, the dude that survives the rat monster, he's not very tough.
No.
The dude that's the toughest dude gets killed by the rat monster, which is the evil boss man.
Yeah, the evil boss is definitely the toughest.
Yeah, he's the toughest dude, and the fucking thing rips him in half.
And he has the accent.
Yeah,
he's like, Graveyard Shift. That was not exactly like it.
Show's over.
Yeah, it has like
that
the
guy.
wacky.
It's like the guy is. I don't. What kind of accent is that supposed to be?
He's supposed to from Maine. Do they have accents like that?
Is that a Maine accent? I always thought
Chowder
he was
shit.
I thought he was supposed to be Russian. I don't know.
Dude, I don't fucking know.
I don't know what he's.
We
supposed
don't give
to
two
be.
fucks about that area of America.
No, I've never been there.
No,
so I don't know.
I mean accent wise. I don't care. You good for you, but
yeah, I don't know, but
yeah, lobster's great.
The monster, you don't see a whole lot of the monster, but you see it a lot at the very end.
Yes,
it's one of those types of movies where like
the payoff is in the end.
Yeah, the payoff is the end. The monster is sweet at the end. The monster dies a super gruesome and brutal ass death too.
I honestly like the middle part. I like when they first go in the basement or cleaning. I think that's sweet because it's very. You wouldn't want to be there. It
No, I
really looks
agree.
really hot and shitty, and you would not want to be there.
Like it seems like very dangerous and very like nasty. So
it's
like
nasty as fuck.
like was that a real place that was that nasty that they found, or did they set all that up? I don't know.
The actors are rough looking, and they become even rougher looking while they're working in that basement. So
Yes, they do.
I think to me, it literally looks just like a basement of a factory like that, like an old factory.
Yeah, it totally does. I think that's what really adds to the movie. Like I said at the beginning, everything in the movie looks pretty real. Like the people look real, the place looks real, like everything about it looks real. Nothing looks fake. Like you said, it looks like these motherfuckers were straight people who were taken off of the line working in this place to star in this movie.
Definitely.
That's why it's so good, dude. And here's another bonus. One thing I will never forget is the video store promo standee that they had.
I remember that too.
It was like 4 to 5 feet tall, and it was like a coffin, and like the coffin was open, and there was like a skeleton arm coming out of the coffin,
Which
and
is scary.
It was holding the tape.
Which is awesome.
I
We need to
wish-
get one of those for the Savage Basement.
I wish, man, but here's the thing: the arm was so like thin on it. It was just
yeah, it's not
cardboard.
going to last.
I guarantee you, there is no motherfucker that has one of those out there that's still intact. If you do, I want to see
The
it.
VHS Shitfest dude, he would have one.
Dan, our friend Dan from Erie.
Yeah.
He don't think he even has one. I don't think
My
he
dude
has that.
Anthony Coca, I just saw him today. He was eating spaghetti. I'm going to hit him up and see if he got him one of those.
Anthony and dude, for real, the one I'm talking about was at Anthony Coca's Video
That's what I'm
Land.
saying. We got to hit up Anthony Coca.
One time we should do a whole episode about Anthony Coca's Video Land because this is the greatest video store that ever existed.
If you rented 10 videos, they give you a bucket of spaghetti. Think about that.
Anthony Coca's also at a pizzeria too.
Which wasn't bad.
Coca's Pizza still exists.
Coca's Pizza's not bad.
It's pretty good. It's not too bad. But
They serve garlic chicken. That doesn't make any sense to an Italian place. I'm just saying.
Graveyard Shift. If you think you're too good for it because it's a major studio movie,
Fuck yourself.
fuck you. If you think you're too good for it because it's from the 90s,
Fuck yourself, too.
So-
Most people will think that are people that were born in the late 90s. It's people that are 20 years old talk shit on movies from the 80s, or they think they love the 80s and hate the 90s. You're a fucking dork. Fuck you.
Early 90s is still the golden era of horror, in my opinion, that spilled over from the 90s up to and including Dead Alive. After you get past Dead Alive, good movies are very few and far between until like Hills Have Eyes remake, Saw.
Jurassic Park, buddy. The fuck were you at?
I think Jurassic Park was early 90s.
It was early. It was like mid 90s, I think.
I think might have been 93.
93. Dude, I don't. I saw when I was actually in 6th or 7th grade, so it had to have been.
Yeah, I think
early
it's
90s.
early. It might have been before that. Might be 91.
He loves the 90s,
I do love the 90s. I'm very fond of the 90s.
but all the VHS 20-year-olds love the 80s. I don't get it.
I don't know, because I experienced the 90s. Like I said, Graveyard Shift, I remember that movie coming out as a new release and anticipating being able to rent it. So, like, those movies, to me, they hold a real special place in my heart because I personally experienced them, remember them coming out, remember seeing them in the theaters, that sort of stuff.
That brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit misty in here. At that
Yes.
point, right there, we're going to cut it short. We'll see you back here in the Savage Basement.
Adios.